Hi there, Jen Redfern from Plus Health Company here. Today we're going to look at some exercises in 4-point kneeling, or you might know that as the all fours position. And that can be a really good way of making some challenges both to the upper body, the middle zone and the lower zone also. It might be that's difficult for you to get down onto the floor yet though, so if that's the case, then check out our tutorial on standing exercises, and that will show you how to build a strength in your leg muscles, which will help you get up and down off the floor. Equally, you could have a little try on the bed, although you tend to sink into a mattress a little bit, so it's not as useful. And following that, if neither of those suit you, then you could just lean forwards onto a chair or perhaps the arm of the sofa and do a similar version of the exercise in that position instead. So you've got a few options there before you begin, but presuming that you are comfortable in 4-point kneeling, we're going to begin with our hands under our shoulders and our knees under the line of the hips. Now, if you have issues with your wrists, you might prefer to rest up on your knuckles. That can be a nicer position for you, so just bear it in mind as we go along. And we're going to start with an exercise called cat stretch, but you don't have to meow, folks. So, unless you want to, that is. We're going to tuck our tailbone under, lift and round our lower back a little, follow through our rib cage up to our shoulder blades, and then glance inwards towards the thighs. And then we're going to go back, leading from the buttock end of the body. So, bottoms up, folks, sink the lower back, sink the rib cage, the chest bone, and glance forwards. So attune into your breath, and when you next breathe out, work along your spine, starting from the pelvis, gradually working up through towards the head like a rippling wave. Pause as you breathe in, and then when you breathe out, work your way back the other way. Now it might be that some of us feel a little bit worried, nervous, or just generally a bit stiff along the spine at the moment, and that's fine. You just do what you feel comfortable doing, no forcing, and you'll start to find that it becomes easier as you practice. It could be nice to try 3 or 4 of these in each direction. So let's assume we've done that now, and then find the midway point, halfway between the two. Glancing between the hands, imagine you've got that little peach under your chin you're trying not to let go of, so you're maintaining good support through the head and neck and the deeper muscles in that area. Now I'd like you to draw your attention to the shoulder blade area. So imagine that there's a tray of expensive drinks across the lower aspect of your spine and pelvis, and keep that really steady as you sink your chest bone and draw your shoulder blades together. And then lift your chest bone and move your shoulder blades apart. And do that without bending your elbows. It might feel really tricky at first, certainly a bit trembly or wobbly through the arms. And what you're doing here is starting to work some muscles that help support around your shoulder blade. And if your shoulder blade muscles are more active, then your upper limb will function better as a whole, and it will also help to reduce unnecessary tension up around the neck and the shoulders themselves. So let's try 3 or 4 of those. And then again, find your midway point. Now I'd like you to focus on your tummy muscles. Without changing the position of your spine, so still consider that tray of drinks, but this time all the way along your back. Relax your tummy muscles, stick your tummy out, folks, and then lift your tummy without changing the position of your spine. Let go of your tummy muscles, let it all hang out, and then draw up. Imagine you're lifting away from a little candle, gently warming your tummy. Let's try that a couple of times. Here you're starting to engage the abdominal muscles, which provide a really important support for your spine from the front of the body, and it can help to really enhance the way in which you move and your posture as a whole. Now we're going to progress this, so see if you can get a sense of lifting gently through your tummy muscles, lifting away from that candle, warming it there, and tuck your toes under. Now as you next breathe out, push equally into the hands and the toes, and see if you can just get your knees to lift a tiny bit off the floor. And as you breathe in, rest down. So as you breathe out, hover, and as you breathe in, release. Now this shouldn't feel to strain you in any way, but it should feel like a bit of a challenge. So go with it. and start with maybe up to 5 repetitions and then increase gradually towards 10. And then you can start to sustain the position. Now, if it's just problematic for your hands now, then you can rest onto your forearms with your elbows under the line of your shoulders, your chin towards your chest as before, and you can do the very same thing. And that may feel easier or actually more challenging. So why not mix it up a little bit and go with a variation of the two? But let's assume you're okay on your wrists, or at least upon your knuckles. We're going to have a look at another exercise challenge here. So the arms are lighter than the legs. So we'll begin with those. And this is our swimming exercise. So whilst you keep your tummy gently supporting, so lifting away from that little candle, and whilst you're keeping your tray of drinks steady across your spine, release one arm forwards, and whilst you're keeping space between the ear and the shoulder, float it upwards and then bring it back. Then do the same for the other side. It's important that you think about reaching away before you float upwards. And the reason being that we don't want to create unnecessary work through the shoulder or rotation through the spine. What you're doing here at the moment is just starting to engage some of the muscles around the back of the shoulder and through towards the spine itself to help begin to strengthen and develop endurance. Now let's try the same with the leg. So, providing you've got enough space behind you, release one leg away, make it straight, and then float it upwards, again, without trying to rotate around your pelvis or twisting higher up your spine. Keep that going, only taking the leg as high as you're able to control the position of your back. So what you're not wanting to do is to feel like you're twisting. Imagine you have headlamps on the front of your pelvis and you're keeping those lights shining down towards the floor. Now, if that's all going really well with those separate limbs, then let's try putting two together. So it's opposite arm to leg, folks. Don't try same arm, same leg. Don't try all four together either. But release one arm and the opposite leg away as before. And imagine there are little strings just allowing you to float up and then bring them back in. And do the same with the other arm and leg. Now you're starting to engage some muscles along your spine and through your hip and shoulder that cross your back like braces. And that can help you to maintain a more upright position more easily and for longer. When you have your next one or two of those, lift your spine up like we did for cat stretch before and rock your bottom towards your heels as comfort allows. Reach your fingertips forwards as you draw your bottom downwards and try not to stick your bottom up. You really want to feel like it's curling. Now let's increase that stretch a little. So take left hand over right hand and then look under your right arm. So peek under there and rotate your body, and that should feel to enhance the stretch along the left side around your shoulder blade and your rib cage area. And then put both hands in line with your left shoulder with the right hand on top and look under the left shoulder and rotate to the left, and that should feel to be more focused up around that right side. And sometimes, for some of us who might have experienced problems for a little while, whether it's an upper limb issue, a spinal problem or otherwise, it might be that large muscle, latissimus dorsi, has been anchoring a little bit too much, trying to create support for you in place of other areas that are not doing enough. And that can, over time, limit you. So it's really useful to make sure there's sufficient length within that tissue. Now we've just got one more to do before we move on. And this is another mobility challenge. So back to the all fours position, folks. Up on knuckles as needed, but we call this thread the needle. So imagine you're threading the largest garment in the land and release one arm under the body, palm upwards, and just reach it under, bending your elbow a little. And then bring it back and imagine you're painting a line all the way up towards the ceiling. And then place the hand down and do the same with the other side, following the hand with your eyes. Keep it going and you'll start to feel more confident going a little bit further with it, so by all means do. Go as comfort and control allows. Maybe try 3 or 4 of these to each side also. And it might be you get eventually to a point where you can let your head and your ear rest towards the floor comfortably. And you're creating rotation along your mid-spine, known as your thoracic spine. And that's really important for your back. So it should move evenly where it can. So unless there's a good reason, such as a spinal fusion, why you might not be able to move freely in certain areas, then we need to try and enhance the movement elsewhere so that everything is working as well balanced as it possibly can. So have a try at some of those exercises. Report back, let us know how you're getting on, and just remember to gradually increase, and you may find that doing a couple of each of them at a few points in the day is more effective than just one block of exercise, and that's all. So thank you folks, and until next time, bye for now.